to the ILiA Support Pod. Today we are birthing the Future Human event together. We're going to elicit ideas to help Dr. Tom Habib, create together as a unit this beautiful baby called Future Human. So we're going to, first of all, just because somebody maybe doesn't know about Future Human, Tom, you can just give us some logistics and your vision, and then I want to hear from everyone. This is going to be a very participative, and it doesn't have to be a very long discussion, but let's just hear from Tom, and then we're going to do a little round table to hear what does everyone want from this event. Future Human, put it together for Tom Habib.
Oh, okay, I can do that.
So this is the Future Human, and the idea is that we're getting all kinds of speakers to, and this kind of aligns with what Suzanne's doing too, is to really speculate what will be the capacities and the abilities of the future human, and how will they look in we space together also. So we're asking all the speakers not only describe it, but what type of skills are you actually doing on the ground to realize this as we go forward. So it's coming together slowly but surely. You can see that 87 days gives me anxiety that it's moving up faster than we thought. Of interest, we may have Marianne Williamson, who just decided not to run for president of the United States, as a featured speaker. And her presentation is going to be the future politician. And I asked her, I said, can you develop a clarion call for politicians that aren't so tribal and that can really hold, values of the country greater than their own self-interest and their own goals? So I'm envisioning her really just spelling out, what that future politician will look like. And hopefully it provides incentive for people to up their game in the political realm. So that's what we're working on, all of us. And I'm finished.
Has she agreed to do that?
Say it again, Suzanne.
Has she agreed to do that? Is she on?
I've spoken with her representative.
Her assistant.
She said she really likes it and wants to do it, but we're scheduling a time to really firm it all up.
Very good. She's a really good friend of mine. Did you see what she sent out last night? It's fabulous. I sent it to my whole if you're on my mailing list, you got it. And if you didn't get it, you're not on my mailing list. Naughty. It was so good. It came in at like 1 o'clock in the morning. I was sitting at my computer and it was like, oh my God, I couldn't believe how wonderful it was. She's saying, well, now what am I supposed to do? And people say, well, be quiet, you'll figure it out, or run for some office. But you know what? I'm not finished with what I was doing. And I'm continuing. Not that now she doesn't have to fundraise or get anybody to vote for her. Now she's just talking about what she did this for and the way she sees things. I tell you, it is brilliant. She looks so gorgeous. I can't believe how beautiful she looks. It's the best thing ever. And so she's perfect to do what you're asking, and she could do that. She didn't have to prepare. That's her thing,
So I put the link, I think, to the right thing in the chat, and I'll put it in the show notes of this recording also. So this is very exciting. This is hot off the press as the time of this recording. We don't have everything confirmed, but maybe by the time people watch this video, we can confirm. All right. So as each of you raises your hand, I'll call on you, please give us a few sentences about your background, because maybe not everyone knows everyone. So just a few sentences about your background, and we'll start off with one thing that you think you want to see at this event. All right. And we're just going to do a small, like a lightning round, and then we'll go into more after that. And hopefully we can get a few rounds in before Kim has to run. So I'll go first. I'm Bet, and I live in Oakland, and I've been an integral for a few years. So my idea for this is lots of networking. I want to meet people. I want to meet people in person because I'm really realizing, and this is going to sound so dumb to everyone, that we need to be in person with people. This Zoom thing is not cutting it for me. I want to be in person with other humans, and I want to hear their thoughts and their dreams. But more than that, I want to have a continuing collaboration with them over time once we're not in person and once everyone's gone back to their individual homes across the planet. But I'm really interested in that connection so that I can collaborate. And so I'm hoping that Tom and all of us will create these spaces where we can chat and get to know each other in a less formal way. All right, that was an example. Who wants to go next with a little like, who
I'll
are
go.
you?
I'll
Kim!
go. Yeah. So Kim Harpum, harp like angels play 'em and ham like oink oink. And yeah, I'm a board member of Integral Leadership in Action. And yes, we in ILiA, that's the initials there, have been doing these kinds of events, conferences. We called them collaboratives. So we always tried to have the conversations in the hallways be just as important as we tried not to have just talking heads, but to have interactive. Now, I recognize that ICON is not ILiA, and I think in our structuring, we're trying to make sure that ILiA keeps its identity, ICON gets to emerge its own identity. But for me to go to this event, I got to admit, I want to provide a place where the conversations in the hallway become the connections that people need. Like you, Nick, I know a number of people who are in business who need to talk with each other, who need to have other people in community so they can grow ideas. Tom has pointed out psychedelics as a pathway to consciousness, as differentiated from psychedelics as a therapy, especially as trauma therapy. People who are involved in that, I want them to be able to talk to one another. I want them to be able to have space. So in our building the program, Tom, without being ILiA, I also want to provide places for interactive. You said we space. And there's a whole bunch of ways to make we space. We can do that formally and informally. We can do that moderated. We can do that. I mean, there's so many ways, but I want people to feel like they connect. As Beth said, it would be wonderful for me to get to have more friends like you guys. But it also is, I want to provide that opportunity for a lot of people. Integral, or people who don't even know what integral theory is, but they're at that nexus that Tom is describing. Thank you. Next. Blab, 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 blab.
Great job, Kim. Who's next?
Well, I should go next because I would speak
Suzanne.
more about what Kim is talking about. The only thing I would be interested in, like if I were attending, and then I'm not like everybody, would be to be creative with other creative people. And the question I would be asking in these groups, and I like that idea, different professions, different, come together with your affinity group, but I would be asking the same question. How are we going to get to the world we want to be in? That's it. That's the question. And I say that because not only is it the question, but it's a question that's not being asked. That's why I did my essay contest. People are not talking about that. They're talking about all the, I do this wonderful thing, and then there's utopia. We could be doing it this way. And oh my God, here's our history. You have to understand we're the feminine and the masculine. Yes, very interesting. But, and then there's nobody saying, now what? Actually, that's the name of changed my name of my Substack to Now What? So anyway, that's what I would do. Make sure that's a concentration of the whole event. Now what?
Suzanne, would you also give your geographical location and a
Oh,
tiny
yeah.
bit of feedback? Yeah.
Yes, I'm in LA and I have long been a rabble rouser and never had a big organization, but I have I do a lot of projects and events. I have people that work with me on an event basis, what have you. So in LA, before COVID, my house was kind of the gathering place for us. But since COVID, the world is the gathering place.
So exciting. Thank you, Suzanne. Who's next? Don't forget your little
Oh,
intro. Barbara!
hi, I'm Barbara Brown. I spend most of my time now in Wisconsin, although I'm in Houston fairly often as well. And um, thinking along the lines of connection, a couple of things. Number one, we probably need to do things for introverts that don't work a crowd. And a lot of times we don't. Um, the other thing that I've seen done for a virtual event was that they actually started chat rooms around common interests, right? And affinity groups about 2 weeks before the event. And that was a really good experience. And so I'm thinking that something like that before and after the event for affinity groups, chat rooms, maybe some Zoom calls that would actually give people a chance to engage, come in engaged, and then stay engaged afterwards. Maybe we even want to set something like the ILiA support groups for some of the affinity groups and come in with a schedule of the next dozen support calls that are going to be available. And, they may just fall off. But on the other hand, the time to get people going is when they're there. So, having one even the day after you get home might be a really great way of keeping people active and keeping them moving. The other thing that people do less of today is just because of privacy issues, but we always back in the day used to give people email addresses and sometimes even phone numbers to make and people could opt out of that and they could be standoffish if they wanted to, but it was a great way a week later when I'm thinking of something to say, oh, I know who I heard that from, and I can grab my email list, go find the name, and actually go contact them, even if they didn't happen to be in my affinity group.
Great stuff, Barbara. I really like it. And I see Tom vigorously taking notes. And Tom, I can help you with any of that stuff, that if any of that rings true to you, because I think these are really good ideas, Barbara. I really
Yeah, I
liked
do
it.
too. Those are very good ideas. Very good.
And if you
Barbara,
want to run by me whether this will appeal to introverted thinkers, feel free to do so, Tom. And I won't say anything about people with feeling preferences because I don't know.
hey,
But
listen, I'm married to an INTJ, Barbara, okay? I get you. I get you. Okay, so let's
most
go
people
to
don't.
Nick. Hmm?
But most people don't.
Most people don't get ENFPs, but anyways, we'll talk about that another time. All right, Nick, do you have any thoughts if you were able, what would make this event super intriguing to you? And also don't forget to do a little intro at the
Yeah, I
beginning.
don't know. I don't know yet, honestly. I'm just gonna share about me a little bit and we'll explore. So yeah, I'm with you, Bat, about networking and meetings. Most of you are on the West Coast probably, so it's hard to do, but yeah, Philly doesn't have any integral events or the East Coast doesn't have much of that going on. So I'm exploring. I'm looking for more communities to be part of, because, well, what makes me in action is that I have a DDO, a deliberately development organization. My company that I co-founded with my wife. We do custom software development for other organizations. And about 5 years ago, we got on a path of becoming a DDO, and I'm just looking to connect with others who are doing anything developmental, especially in business. Because there's so few people who are doing anything like that, the ones that do should probably connect and learn from each other. Yeah, so networking is really interesting, and business people connecting. Yeah, Kim, I'm with that as well. I mean, I'm part of Stagen, so there is a community, but it doesn't have a recurring events other than a once a year reunion. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Oh, and one of the reasons why we are doing DDO and why I'm interested in Integral is because a big part of it is about complexity management, and there's a lot of failure in my industry. Projects, they constantly run out of budgets, low budgets, below deadlines, expectation setting rarely works. And I think the reason for that is, one of the reasons is that people are not as good in complexity management as they should be in this context. So yeah, I'm studying that. And yeah, I guess that's all I have. And I'm from Philly. I'm originally from Kiev. I moved to Philly in '99. It's 25 years.
Did I hear you say something about lack of local support for this too?
Yeah, East Coast seems to be about other things. I haven't met anybody who's into Integral or DDO or things like that.
So their time's another thing. Even if people can't come, maybe we need to see if people are interested in local contacts and doing this on the ground. I think that you're absolutely right. Human to human. Zoom is okay, but there's nothing like sitting in a room with people.
I
So
actually have an idea for that too. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were finished. Sorry.
yeah, go ahead, Suzanne.
First I have a question. How many people do you expect, ballpark? What kind of size is this?
Can I jump into that, Tom? Suzanne, would you please continue to market it? We can have up to 400 people, but we don't have 100 yet.
All right, but I'll tell you the reason I'm asking. Smaller, you can do different things than bigger. I went to something once that was all activists. There were about 120 of us, I think, and everyone was, leading something and doing. And the whole point was to make something monumental happen. Don't ask it. There's a long story associated with it, but what they did there that I really liked was that the morning was open mic. You couldn't do it with 400 people, I don't think, but we were in a big circle and the mic was on the, there it was on the floor, and you just came over and you picked up the mic and then you had the mic. So as I say, everybody was there not to be a spectator. They were all there to really be participant. So that worked really well.
That is a dangerous situation.
Well, if I told you the whole story, I created a huge amount of danger.
I believe it. I'm very involved
Hey,
in
if you want to change the
Toastmasters.
world, my dear, it ain't going to be safe. It is not going to be low risk. So
I will
know
only
Paul
tell
would
you
like
that
to
it
say-
involved taking off all my clothes in front of
What?
everybody.
Okay. We got to hear from Tom because I got to go. And then you guys can talk more about Suzanne's
Very daring.
fill in the blank. Tom.
So I'm in San Diego County, just north of San Diego. And my other job is I'm a clinical psychologist with specialties in couples and families. And I got to go back to work tomorrow, which is bumming me out. I'm taking 1 week off a month these days, trying to retire, but I'm getting my daughter going. Got licensed a year and a half ago, and then she's going to take over, and I do other things like put on conferences. Reiterating a little bit what both Kim said and Suzanne is, I was thinking of that, I think it was a book, Energy Vampires. And when we're not around people that are highly energetic, we're giving out our energy a lot. And it's so necessary for us to get replenished, being around each other. And I agree, it's all those ideas that emerge when we're together and we come together. Like when I think I've been in this probably 16, 17 years, and I think of the people I've met all over the world, in Moscow, South America, Canada, all over the place, South Africa, and different ideas that have emerged. I mean, how it's such a short period of time that you could actually be inseminated by people all over the world. And that's the world we're in. And it's just wonderful. I feel like Bet and Kim have become my neighbors now, because like this is the second time within 24 hours I've had to interact with them. Might be more, as much as I can remember. But that's the world we're in, and I do hope for this, that it can be a kind of like one of those places where we charge up our cars, our lithium cars, so we can run further.
All right, Tom, that was so beautiful. And I just want to call it out that I use the word birthing and you use the word inseminate. So, so funny. Okay, so let's do a lightning round. If anyone has any other fun ideas for what we should bring to this, and then we'll go ahead and wrap today, the official, if anyone wants to stay for the after party. Anything else we want to really see at this event? All right, I'll go. I'll go. I want to hear ideas that I haven't heard yet. And this is going to be very challenging because I am a ridiculously obscene amount of consumption of podcasts and books and articles and Substacks and YouTube videos, and I have heard everything on everything. I've heard all of Daniel Schmachenberger's predictions about the future. I've heard Nassim Taleb. I've heard you name it, Sapiens. I've read all the books. So I will be wowed, Tom, if you can bring me a speaker who says something new that will shock me, and that's what I would love. I would love for my brain to hear something brand new that I have not heard yet. All right, who's next? This is a lightning round. Anyone else want to share something they really want? Barbara
You
looks like
know,
she's about to say something. Go.
if you're looking for something that most of us haven't heard, right? We probably want to grab some sort of non-intellectuals from Middle America. One of the things I find around here is that you coastal folks make fun of the farmers, right? But it's amazing. You talk to them about climate change, and you get the real, yeah. I mean, I've got stuff that's already growing in my yard, and it's going to hard freeze down toward 10 degrees again. I mean, you cannot grow in those kinds of chaotic environments, and they talk about it. Iowa has a tremendous group working on restorative farming. They've even got state regulations passed and state funding to do some of these programs. So they're doing things on the ground very practically, not at all egghead, you know. Not that they're not often well educated and such, but they work the earth, right? So I think that that group would give us something that we seldom hear.
Cool. Thanks, Barbara. Anyone else want to in the lightning round? Suzanne.
I'll give you another idea. Divide people up into 12 people each, circles. Now it's a little parallel to the what I was just talking about of open mic. Okay, there's an empty chair. Anybody at any time can go sit in it. There's a requirement. No preparation. Whenever you feel the thing, you sit in the chair, it's yours, nobody talks, no crosstalk. It's your chair. You can sit there and be quiet if you want. But what you want to do is just let happen what happens. Talk to, talk from your soul. That works.
Suzanne, I think you and I need to hang out a lot more. I've spent a lot of time in improv, like a
I
lot of
was an
improv.
actress, so that's
Well,
my
there we
bag
go.
also.
There we go.
And
Yeah,
I
I think
also wondered, is that Judith Orloff who was talking about you were Tom, Judith Orloff on what was that phrase that you used? I think that's hers. Crazy something. No,
we're gonna go look that up now. All of
empath,
us.
who protect yourself or something.
Mhm.
I
Who's
lost it.
what?
I lost whatever I said.
Okay.
We have it on recording. We can
She's
go
a
back
friend
and
of
watch
mine
it.
too. I just thought this really funny. It's kind of like I think that's my friend Judith Orloff, who you were referring to.
Suzanne, we need to get all your friends at our event.
Really?
Okay, bring them all. Bring them all in. All right. Last one, last chance here. Anyone else want to share any lightning round things that they would love to have at the Future Human in May 16th to the 19th? And if you haven't bought your tickets yet, they're flying off the shelf, whatever, that virtual shelf. So get them quick. Do we still have early bird, Tom, or have we sold out of those yet?
Yes, the early
We still
birds
have
are
early
there.
bird?
They're gonna go away
Oh my
soon
goodness.
now.
We need to, they're flying, Tom. That's what you need to be saying. They're flying off the shelf. Here, I'm putting the link again just in case anyone missed it. Last chance. Anyone else want to share anything? And then we're gonna wrap.
Beth, did you
Yes,
put
Barb.
the event on all the Spirodynamics sites? I don't remember having seen it.
If I didn't, I will go fix that. Thank you,
Yeah,
Barbara.
put the by here. You'll get some takers.
All right, sounds like a plan. Cool. Well, Tom, you're doing great work getting this thing off the ground. And tell us real quick before we leave the future of this. We're going to be doing this at a regular cadence so that we can build momentum and have these relationships blossom. So tell us about that.
Yeah, it's gonna be every 2 years, but we're already envisioning changing conferences. Like there's a lot of research that TED Talk styles seem to work real well and really specifying out, because when you do a TED Talk, you're agreeing to all kinds of things.
Mm.
But we're thinking down the road, trying to get totally away from featured speakers and, really raise the bar with TED Talk kind of styles with a lot of air in the conference so the interaction can happen. We're already putting more air in this one than Sedona because we know what goes on between people in hallways, at tables, at lunch is really, that's where the insemination happens. It's interesting. I used insemination, you used birthing. It was even indexed correctly.
So why is TED Talk not a featured speaker? It's a different kind of speaker, but it still seems to me to be a featured speaker format. So explain how you're viewing that as different, Tom.
Well, we got away from keynotes and we'll call them featured this time. But next time we're gonna go to pure TED Talks, it looks like, with a heck of a lot of interaction. And so we're just thinking down the road, what do we want? What's gonna be the immersive interactional experience? Including technology, down the road. But right now, the financial risk is enormous, so we're trying to be modest.
And,
Next
and
time,
I'll tell you
everyone's
that if it were a TED Talk format, you'd never see me at one of them. The only thing worse than keynote speakers for highlighting already successful charismatic folks are TED Talks, because they almost require you to be a charismatic speaker. And I don't think that's what we want.
Yeah, most of the people that are speaking have a lot of experience and they've done a lot of their own academic preparation. So TED Talks tends to be more for the general consumer. We tend to attract people that have an intellectual curiosity, spiritual awareness, and they don't want to be dogmatic. So hopefully we're going to attract a younger age also down the road.
so 2026 is the next one.
Yep.
And for this is just a sneak preview. That one, everyone's going to have an Apple Vision Pro as part of their ticket. Just kidding.
It's going to have
Just
what?
kidding. The 3D AR glasses that Apple just put out. Anyways, that was a joke. All right, well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so
go
much
ahead.
for human interactions.
No more humans. You have to go, Suzanne. I put you
You're
on mute.
muted, Suzanne.
Let me unmute you.
Fun doing me, I mean, doing
There
me.
you go.
So I put the link to, if you aren't on my mailing list, click on that link and you get on my mailing list.
I really recommend Suzanne's mailing list. It's so positive. Every week she puts out a new article that's really nice and sweet. And I'm just
Tomorrow's the next day. Get on fast. One a
you don't
week.
want to miss.
Except
All
when
right,
I
well,
send a
everyone,
special. And the link you put in before is to Marianne, is what I just circulated of what Marianne put out in that talk of hers.
The
Mhm.
Substack link.
The one, not this one. This is my mailing list, but it's a slightly above that Bet put on. Yeah, it's just it has my name in it, but it has my name because I circulated that piece with Marianne's talk. I'm telling you, that talk is just, I'm thinking, forget the Democrats, forget the Republicans, the Marianne party. It doesn't have to be political. It actually should be the beloved community. Martin Luther King, that's what I'm telling her. Call the beloved community, Marianne. You need a spine for it. We need to collect ourselves. You're
Well,
perfect.
please message her and tell her that we need her to speak at our event. If you know her, just say, please, Future Human, launch your new third party, whatever it is. By the way, we should link to the third party thing that Spiral Dynamics Live did. Did you guys record that, Barbara? They did a debate about can we have a third party?
I don't remember whether we recorded that.
All right.
I wasn't meaning a political party, out of
Okay.
politics, the world.
Just a party. Basically, we just need a party, everyone.
Well, it's a coalition, actually, as I would call it. But
I like it.
I don't mean politics. I don't mean compete in that arena. Create your own. Make it more important than all of them. I think
love
you
it.
can do that.
I think you need to.
This. You listen to her talk, and you just see the seed of something.
I will. Just please email her right now and say, we need you to speak at Future Human. Just type those words. All right, Suzanne. Well, that's the end of today's Support Pod. We are here the third Monday of every month at 4 p.m. PST, 7 p.m. EST, and all the ones in the middle, I don't know how to do that math. It's too complicated. See you all next month. Woo! Bye!